with Ja. Today we're gonna read something new. Dewey Bob by Judy Schachner. Dewey Bob Crockett was born in the pocket of an old pair of pants. And when he got too big for his britches, Dewey knew what he had to do. "Time to find your own pair of pants, son," said Ma Crockett, wiping away a tear. "And don't forget to take your buttons," she added, handing him one for the road. True, Dewey had never met a button he didn't like, but when his collection began to weigh down the family pants, Dewey knew it was time to move on. He wasn't exactly sad about leaving, because Dewey had mastered every raccoon rule there was in the book, especially the one about washing stuff. "Why, I'm as clean as the beans are green," declared Dewey every time he spun his little paws around a bar of soap. But finding a home that was big enough was harder than he had ever imagined, because Dewey collected far more than just buttons. He collected experiences too. There's only so much a heart can hold," said Dewey, opening up an old glass jar before it begins to overflow. "That's one heck of a moon," said the raccoon with a sigh, "and I'm gonna save me some." The place was as empty as a hatched egg, and filthy too, but a little dirt didn't scare Dewey. "I'm a mean, clean washing machine," said the little raccoon as he scrubbed the place spotless. Then he took a long soak in the tub with some of his favorite buttons. "Perhaps a stripe would be nice." "Sweet mother of marble," said Dewey, looking around, "this place needs some decoration." So Dewey dried off and went out to do a little shopping. The first stop was a row of trash cans, but they were way too crowded for his liking. "Keep it neat, fellas. Who do you think we are, Dewey, you?" Pfft. "Perfect buttons, shiny buttons, sitting in a jar. My favorite buttons are a secret, but you know who you are." "This is a real humdinger," declared Dewey Bob. But as he ran his tiny paws up and down and all around his new creation, he began to feel a case of the itchy twitchies creeping up his spine, a sure sign that a spell of collecting was coming up. So Dewey grabbed a clean glass jar, stepped outside of his tree, and collected the very first things he saw: fireflies. Dewey was partial to sparkly things, but he didn't have the heart to keep them. Tiny things with dark green wings and starlight in your tummies. Don't you miss your glowing homes and your sparkly mummies? Truth was, Dewey had begun to miss Ma Crockett back home in the family pants and feeling a tad bit lonesome. The little fellow did something real unusual for a nocturnal creature. He went to bed. "I need friends." But before Dewey fell asleep, he needed to collect his thoughts. The most important one he tucked under his pillow. Next morning, that little rascal was racing down on a country road with his rusty old cart, and he was tossing every critter too slow to get out of his way into it. "He's nuts. Squeezy, fleecy, and don't ask me why, but collecting new friends is as easy as pie," shouted Dewey as he ran along. But Dewey soon found out that finding friends was much easier than keeping friends. "Ouch! Run for your lives!" hollered a squirrel, launching a nut at Dewey's head. "He's got crazy eyes," bleated an old goat, scrambling out of the cart. "And he's out in broad daylight," howled a one-eared dog, leaping into a bush. Every critter bolted. Excepting for one, a barely brazen half-starved Mudball. But Mudball or not, it seemed that Dewey Bob Crockett had collected his very first friend, and he was proud as a panda, wearing new plaid pants. I hope that's just your tummy growling. Collecting makes me hungry too, declared Dewey as he strolled over to the nearest trash can. Leftovers left over 3 days old, a biscuit and a chicken bone covered in mold. Polly put the key on pretty please. Add the corn and the taters to the frozen peas. Pork chop? The Mudball was not impressed. When even the smell of a moldy old pork chop failed to get a rise out of the critter, Dewey began to wonder if his new friend was really a critter at all. Maybe you is just an old ball of mud, he said, but then Dewey Bob leaned in and gave the thing a squeeze. Well, if that ain't a sweet puppy's purr. As soon as the two of them arrived back home, Dewey did what he always did with his collections. He gave the Mudball a darn good scrubbing. Squeaky clean as a baby string bean, and cute as a cloth-covered button. True, Dewey could never tell the difference between a puppy and a kitten, but he always knew when something needed fixing. No wonder you didn't run like them other critters, said Dewey, feeling his heart begin to break. You couldn't. Then he tucked his little friend into bed, tighter than a blossom in a buttonhole. That night, as the Mudball slept, Dewey Bob snuck into his workshop and took out 2 of his most prized possessions. Then he got right down to work. It ain't what you own that makes you happy, said the old gray mare.
Okay, you just moved the camera.
How?
I don't know, you hit the table and it started moving. Everything stopped moving. Read that again, over there.
Sorry.
Here.
It ain't what you own that makes you happy, said the old gray mare to my great-grandpappy. Come sunup, Dewey had made something as practical as it was pretty, out of 2 big buttons and a handful of odds and ends. Mercy, he declared as he ran his paws up and down and all around his new creation. If those wheels ain't as round as the rings on a raccoon's tail. Then he waited for the Mudball to wake up. Well, it was no surprise that the little critter took to his wheels like a bear takes to bedroom slippers. And even though it made Dewey dizzy to watch his friend roll around the room all day long, he couldn't remember a time when he felt happier. Sorry about the nut, Dewey. I want pants. I need me an ear. Oh, Homer, you're perfect just the way you are. Amazing. That's so sweet. Take it slow. So he's not a quack. So what? Not bad. But the truth is, the Mudball wasn't a thing. He was a living, breathing critter who deserved to experience the world in all its splendor, and Dewey knew it. What? But the truth is, the Mudball wasn't a thing. He was a living, breathing critter who deserved to experience the world in all its splendor, and Dewey knew it. So first he opened his heart, then he opened the front door. Roll on, Mudball, roll on. The end. And roll he did, right back into the arms of his very best friend. Get me a jar, Mudball. I need to collect me some of this. The end. No collection is complete without a friend. I hope you enjoyed this book about friendship. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ring the notifications bell. Goodbye!